Hello rats, welcome back to another episode of Skavenblight Radio. So, it has been quite a while since I've done a YouTube specific video, but this was an interesting side idea I had. So this is kind of a Throt DLC review and some of my thoughts along the way. So we should probably start with the Wood Elves. So I haven't really played this faction a whole lot, the new Mortal Empires campaign, although it is the one that interests me the most, so it's probably going to get a video later down the line completely dedicated to it. I have, however, played the Sisters, and I'm not terribly impressed with the situation with the Warhawk Riders because they're very overpowered, and what makes them overpowered is the fact that they lose models to very low HP value. So what actually ends up happening is, although you take a lot of damage, you don't lose models, and modules are what actually cause damage in the battle. So you end up with a lot of staying power, and the key to winning with Warhawk Riders with the Sisters is to cycle charge. And because they have fire and move and 360 fire arc, they can actually shoot anyone in any direction, so you can actually pick your enemy apart. And I know what you're probably saying, oh, well, there's a lot of doom stacks that do a lot of damage and blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, you can get this doom stack at tier 2 or tier 3. I'm not quite sure, it's been a while now. I was hanging on and hoping they would fix it more than they have, because it is quite powerful. And even in multiplayer, I've done some campaign games and some multiplayer straight up battles with people and beaten them with pure Warhawk Riders. So I'm not saying it's optimum, but it's possible if you know what you're doing and you know how to cycle charge. It's very micro heavy, so that is kind of the drawback if you're not good at micro games. But before I played Total War Warhammer for 2,000 odd hours, I played StarCraft for 10 years or so. So yeah, I'm used to microing units around a hell of a lot. So aside from that, Dirthu kind of has a massive improvement. Tree men are actually pretty strong, pretty tanky. It's probably the strongest Doom stack. But when you can lightning strike armies, Warhawk Riders are probably better. Because it's just fast and offensive. Like with Tree men, it's so slow and you're taking a more defensive stance. But with Warhawk Riders, you're really taking it to the enemy, and if you take it out of the range and it's really fast, there's not really a whole lot they can do to stop you shooting at them. So that being said, I'm now going to talk about Skaven. This is maybe my 4th campaign with Throt. So what I did in this campaign was attempt to build a 0 upkeep army. Where's my army? It's here. As you can see, these units here cost me no upkeep. So this doesn't apply to your lords, but it is incredibly powerful. But what I've also found is it's kind of bugged. I don't know if it's Throt or not, but if you look here in Prague, I only have tier 3, which should give me 1 pack master. I should need that ability to get 2 pack masters. Now, I don't know whether it's because I have got Throt as the lord, but to test that out, I built it in a minor territory. So in the minor territories, it does work as it should. This only gives me access to 1, or maybe it's just because it's already got 1 in the province. I'm not entirely sure. So this gives me access to 3 packmasters, despite that saying I should only have 1. And this saying I should only have 1. It gives me 3. So this tactic basically required me to get 8 packmasters. So what I did at the start of the campaign is I recruited a secondary army, which is now here. It's this dude, who is level 20 and is a warlock engineer, basically. So I went down this skill tree and got the upkeep down, and then just got a load of cheap slaves. So that was the backup, and then what I did is I heavily fought against the dwarfs. I pushed and I used the small army as bait, and around here he sacrificed all his armies to me because my other army was in ambush mode, and they just came out and just committed suicide effectively. And I destroyed the dwarfs by turn 7. Now, knowing what I know now, you could probably do this quicker, So you could build a building at Help It at tier 3, would be just fine. So that'd give you 2. You could take this at whatever level you want. I assumed I needed tier 4 because that's what it says. But actually at tier 3 would have sufficed. But what I could have also done is I could have got 2 there, and 1 there, and 1 there. That would have put me on 6. But I didn't do that. I did 2, 2. I came down here and occupied this one, and then this one to get 8. And then I built another one there, because that's when I realised that at tier 3 I've got access to 2 more, whereas I shouldn't have. And just to show you that that's the situation, I have access to 9 Packmasters. Also, I should rush this, because this gives you +2 hero rank for Packmasters. I didn't realise that was a thing, but I guess it's part of the new research deck. So, all being said, to get to the point where I could build 8 of them was turn 35. It's taken me from then till now to get them all to tier 10, mainly because I had to set Kislev earlier than I wanted to. I was sacking Kislev repeatedly to level up my armies, but then the Norskins came and they were like, well, we're going to take Kislev, and I was like, well, you're not having it, it's mine. So then I had to move down here. But now that we actually have them, I can show you what we've got here. So we actually have minus 20% upkeep, campaign effect, and minus 23 upkeep for the entire army. And the minus 23 is the usual Quartermaster and Renowned. Now, some of you will probably go, oh, but Dan, you didn't go down the red line. But if you look at the red line, really, for what I was doing an entire monster army, all I'm missing, effectively, is speed and charge bonus. All that this one does is give me defensive skills, physical resistance, armor, and leadership, and stand your ground, which again would be more melee defense. But honestly, and on hard, this is on legendary, and I've got a bunch of mods that make the campaign harder for me. So it gives towers like 360 vision, and makes chaos a hell of a lot stronger to contend with. And I've had absolutely no problem, and I don't even have a wizard in here. So the thing that occurred to me though after that is you don't really actually need 8 Packmasters, because you can give them all minus 15% upkeep. So this isn't very optimum, is it? I can take a hero out, and then they still cost nothing. I'm gonna take another one out. Yeah, so they cost something now, but like between 4 and 19. Why do you cost more than them? I thought you guys should cost more upkeep. Anyway, that's an observation. And you cost more upkeep as well. Yeah, interesting. Okay, but my point being is, you could really just do this with 6 Packmasters. So really, this would be more optimum. Also, I got 2 chieftains early on. So these aren't being discounted, so you could take these out of the army. They don't really need to be in the army. And then you've got room for 4 more monsters. And I haven't even really done a muchness for this. It's mostly just been using the growth vat for units. I've got very lucky. I think there was only 2 units that I had to recycle because they got bad thing, but like all of these have got cellular instability. All the single entities, sorry. And then these have got some random thing and minus 15% upkeep. So in terms of having a full stack, like this is only 2k for an entire full stack. And I bet you could do it even cheaper than what I did, and faster, because you only actually need 6 Packmasters. So really, all you need is the Helper, Karak, and these 2 to give 1 each, and you would have 6 Packmasters. And then you could just sack and raid, and once they're all level 10, all these guys need is carrot and stick for minus 10% upkeep, and then just fill this with monsters. Preferably brood horrors with cellular instability, or, you know, to get out of bombs are good. But actually they're right, because with the random mutations do tend to hold up pretty well. That's the only reason I haven't replaced them. Like, they've got a lot of extra here, like, they cost nothing, so it's just like, the cost of the army upkeep, 2k, is just nothing. And some of these don't have the reduced upkeep, but I could easily give it to them. So it's quite effective, and actually I'm quite surprised, because ever since Queen and the Crown, we've had like a steady progression of technically more advanced armies and a lot more range superiority. And I kind of feel this is a balancing act, because with this kind of army and the tree men, it's viable combat focused armies that can actually take a lot of abuse. Like this army with a load of packmasters in it and a couple of chieftains could actually just slaughter everything. I've not really had much of a problem with anything, in all honesty. And because you have siege tacky, you just go straight in there and just destroy them. Like, I know I haven't advanced very far, but the whole point of this little save that I've done is to, one, make it as hard for me to progress as possible, and two, try and do it as zero upkeep army. Now, I had kind of hoped that when these guys got a brood horror, that their upkeep would be reduced to 0, but it seems like someone at CA knew someone had tried this, so that doesn't actually apply. But 300 upkeep is still pretty good for a hero and a monster. Like, they don't have the best stats as heroes go, but when they're backed up with monsters which effectively have warp bomb, they can actually just crush straight through, because you can just run straight through a wall, have their own artillery kill half the men, and then start firing off your cellular instability attacks and just annihilate the defenders and just walk straight into the center. And if you haven't won by then it'll only be a matter of time until the clock counts down. So this brings me to a second point. Is Throt better than Naked Claw? I actually think, despite the fact that this tech tree is kind of pointless if you're going monsters all in, you might as well focus on his killing ability than anything else, that Throt is actually better, because while Naked Claw has lots of guns and ammo, Ambush and Lightning Strike kind of makes infinite ammo obsolete. You get enough ammo to destroy a single army. Skaven can very easily stack up Ambush. So I've got plus 30% there. I haven't even bothered with Lightning Strike. What's the point? The Ambush success chance is... okay, only shows us 30 there. But you could actually go to the effort of giving these guys cunning. I haven't, because I did this in a rush. So I've got an assortment of random skills. I'm pretty sure one of them has cunning. But it is very easy to ambush. And like, the ambush success chance, 85%. It is pretty crazy. It's not like I've got 90%. Oh my god, 100%. Is there anywhere on the map where it's just not like ridiculously high? Yeah, so we're looking at like an 80% chance to ambush, generally speaking. Like, the whole thing with archer armies is kill them one at a time, so you don't really need infinite ammo. And nukes, you can only use one a game, whereas each of these cellular instabilities is effectively a mini nuke. You will kill 3 units if they're all engaged with that one help hit. So I actually think that although you start up here and it's a bit of an odd start, and this, I must admit, is the only campaign where Norska hasn't tried to screw me over. Like, I'm allied to these guys and I have a defensive alliance over here as well. But generally speaking, one of these will stab you in the back with the other, but you can remedy that as well, because you have enough buildings here, get one of these, build 2 assassins, get your ally to go to war with whoever your enemy is, and then just assault unit, assault unit, assault unit, until the Lord's got 50% health. He attacks, defeats the Lord, and then he confederates them automatically. So you can kind of be the master of puppets and orchestrate an entire takeover of Norsca if you really want to. That is a viable tactic. So combined with, you actually have an ally. You have an army that is extremely strong, extremely hard to break, and effectively has mini bombs. I think that's kind of what does it. Like, the number of cellular instabilities you can get, and the ally, like Icky Claw down here, for all his toys and scheming, he's surrounded by people that wants to kill him down here. You got humans here, dwarfs and orcs, wood elves. It's a constant battle. It's worth it, because he's a strong faction, don't get me wrong, but I actually feel like Clan Moulder is actually stronger, and they've actually made a combat army a lot stronger than combat armies have been, because if we're all brutally honest, on Legendary, they've kind of been slipping into an abyss. It's all been about the range units. Sisters of Avalon, unlimited machine guns, cannon fodder, the usual drill, hero hammer kind of thing. So yeah, this DLC has been a nice, refreshing change. There's been some good things to it. I'm looking forward to playing this faction and giving my review for them. But this is going to be my official DLC review because I feel like I've had enough time and I've played through enough campaigns. And yeah, Thrall is just a killing machine. His stats alone make him insanely hard to deal with, and the fact he has regen, and he has skill which can give regen for 1,000 hit points. It's one of these, I think. No, am I imagining it? Is it just a standard skill? He has an ability which gives a heal for 1,000 points twice when you're in the battle. And yeah, it is extremely powerful. And who cares about paying like 4 gold for a unit, or 9 for a Hell Pit, or 19 for a Brood Horror? I mean, you could always have 7 Packmasters if you want to pay nothing. But it's like saving you nothing really at that point, isn't it? The cost of the Packmaster is not saving you 300. Severely doubt that. Yeah, because some of these cost 4 and some of these cost. Oh, it's because these don't have the -15 on the end, but yeah. Yeah, so that is my review of this DLC. I think it's very interesting, it's very good, and it does bode well. I hope we get, like, the mutation tree here. I do hope we get something like this for Warriors of Chaos. I hope that they get, like, favors of the gods, which allow them to progress in different ways and abilities, and that if you add too many, there's a chance of you becoming a chaos spawn, because that's what chaos is all about, isn't it? The conversion when you overdo it. So yeah, that is it for my review. I might start doing videos specifically for YouTube that are slightly different, because I have strong opinions on films and TV shows, and people are always saying I should make a video and about it, but I'm just like, videos are so much effort when it's about TV shows and you're editing stuff together. So this is a pretty low tech video, to be honest with you, for YouTube, but it is specific for YouTube for a change. If you have feedback, comments, suggestions, if you hate the video, if you want me to cover something else, I'm open to a lot of things. I am wondering what to do with the channel right now. So as it stands, it's pretty inactive. COVID's kind of changed my life, and I have to adapt with the times, so I don't have as much free time as I used to have. So hopefully that doesn't upset people at CA, because I do currently have early access, thanks to Josh and the people at CA, so I should give them a massive shout out, because without them I wouldn't have got to play this through as many times as I could. It does enable me to give them feedback on my thoughts and opinions. So I do love this DLC, just a FYI. And I said what else earlier, but you know, you can't love everything, and everyone likes different things. But I do actually think that this is a massive bug. I don't think that that's supposed to give 2 at that level. but it does. So don't think it's that much of an issue since it's capped at 100 anyway, but yeah, that means you need 50 capitals to cap it. Or you can start building individual ones from mined territories. So that is my review of this DLC. I do play Warhammer quite a bit. I will include the Discord link for those of you that wish to join the Discord community. We do play games together every now and again, and we have rampant memes, and people generally hang out in chat all day long, so feel free to pop in and say hi. And I shall catch you in the next one, I guess. So I wish you all good fortune in your wars to come, and I will see you next time.